Yes, good morning. Savva here from Football Heritage TV. Indeed, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are and whatever time you're watching this pre-recorded video. So today, listen, I've not done anything since Friday. I didn't feel like there was really a lot to do. I think a lot of people, video for the sake of videos, it's not really me. But I have a question for many of you today. And again, most people watching this are going to be Spurs fans, and if not, they understand that this is going to be about Tottenham Hotspur. Are Tottenham Hotspur amazing, or is it a rebuild? I'm confused. I'm very, very confused as to what any of this actually means anymore. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about YouTube videos and YouTube creators and what they're doing. How it's very, very clever, and also how every single one of their videos, there's loosely veiled digs at certain creators, i.e. someone like myself. And that's fine. I find it funny that they've never got the balls to actually come on and actually debate, but that's fine. We can deal with that. And the reason I ask is this. I've seen a number of videos. Let's be fair. Tottenham win, and this is Ange Ball. This is what Ange Ball is all about. Ange is amazing. Look at this rebuild. Look at this squad. Look at these players. This is amazing. This is why we're going to win the league. If you don't know Ange, this is what he's about, etc., etc., etc. Fine. When those wins happen, it's, oh my God, this creator's in the mud. Boom. Stell's in the mud. Boom. Mr. Box Office, Alex is in the mud. Danny, he's in the mud. Everyone's in the mud every time Spurs win a game, as though we're not Spurs fans. It is pathetic. Now, Spurs don't win a game, and those very same people that made videos about how amazing our youth are, about how amazing Ange is, and how amazing this squad is, and how amazing our summer transfer window was, and how this player's generational and this player's great, and the possession and the domination. All of a sudden, these people changed to, we lost, but don't have a meltdown. We'll talk about that word in a minute. Don't have a meltdown. It's a rebuild. Hang on. You're grown adults talking about rebuild without actually understanding what the word rebuild means. I find this quite embarrassing. So let's look into this word, right? First of all, let's look at the word meltdown. Now, what I find hilarious is I like to think, people can tell me in the chat, I don't think I've been pretty consistent this last year on my views on Tottenham Hotspur and Ange. My views on Ange are, he's okay. I don't really rate him. I've not seen anything that makes me go, yeah, this is the guy to take us forward. I'm not going to sit here and go, out, out, out. Yeah, I've done a video where I said Ange out because he frustrates the hell out of me. But my opinion has pretty much been the same. I feel like he's going to be a flat track bully. He's going to beat most of the teams below him in the league, as he should as Spurs manager, and he will struggle against most of the teams above us. Now, I've been pretty consistent with that for nearly a year, very much since that Chelsea defeat where I think it was like the 2nd of November, 3rd of November, something like that. It was nigh on a year ago, give or take a week or two. I've been very consistent. I need to see more from this manager, from tactics, from adapting, from in-game management to substitutions, from his interviews. That's just me, right? That's just me. I've been very consistent about my views on Ange. So when Spurs win a game, I'm happy to say, God, we were very good today. But what I won't do after we beat a very good win against Man U, for example, I don't just suddenly go, oh my God, this is amazing. This is Ange Ball. This is what we're going to do. We're going to win a league. No, show me evidence. I'm an evidence person. Show me evidence that this is sustainable. Show me evidence that this isn't just beating teams who are out of form or in the bottom half of the table. Show me that we can do these things consistently. And I'm not talking about, oh my God, but we beat Villa in March. I'm talking about consistently. Now, I'm not saying you're going to win every time you play a top 6 team. Of course not. But at the moment, the pattern at Tottenham is very, very similar. Spurs, rock up, we beat the Evertons, right? We rock up, we don't lose to the Leicesters. Right? We rock up, we beat the Brentfords. Right? But the pattern's very samey, isn't it? We rock up, we lose at Brighton. We lose at Newcastle. We don't beat Arsenal again at home. Now, listen, that's fine, but there needs to be some middle ground here. It can't be 1 minute we are amazing, you're in the mud, look how great we are, and the next minute it's a rebuild. Because when we talk about rebuild and meltdown, etc., first of all, it can't be a meltdown if you've been pretty much saying the same thing every week. A meltdown is me going, we're going to win the league, we're going to win the league. Then we lose a game and I go, oh, we're getting relegated, this is shocking. Right? The same fans, and you know who you are when I say this, and they're welcome to come on this channel. The same fans that lie about people like me and Stel. And they say things like, oh, you said we'd finish in the relegation zone last year. You said we'd finish bottom half. No. No, I didn't. I said we'd finish fifth. We finished fifth. Why? Because I thought we had the fifth best squad. Right? I said I think we'd finish fifth. This year, I've not said we're going to finish bottom half. I've not said we're going to get relegated. I've actually predicted seventh. And for anybody that doesn't believe that that is what I've said, I've got it here to show you. Anyone will remember. I put this up before the season started. You can see that I thought it would be Tottenham in seventh. Now, I'm not going to get every position right. No one's going to get every position right in a 1 to 20. But that's what I predicted for Tottenham. And that's where I'm sticking with it. Why am I sticking with that prediction? Before people want to say it's a meltdown, why am I sticking with that prediction? Well, let's have a look. This is the reason I'm sticking with that prediction. Because when you actually look at the Premier League table, we've had a nice sample size now of what Tottenham are about, and Tottenham are very hit and miss. Now, that's not negative to say that. That's factual. 3 wins, 3 defeats, and a draw. We are slap bang down the middle, hit and miss. 1 week we're very good, the next week we're poor. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but what there is wrong is people will see these facts, and what they're starting to do, they're starting to, I believe they call it copium. They're starting to cope better now but we dominated every game. Okay, that's subjective. Did we have a lot of the football in most games? Yes. We're a possession team. Of course we're going to have a lot of the football. Were goalkeepers scrambling to make save after save and we were unlucky not to win? No. Did we have a lot of possession? Yes. Were we good in patches in those games? Yes. Sure. But I'm going to ask a question. When has football not been about the result? And people could say, yeah, but the performances are showing we're going in the right direction. Fine. Okay. But how long, and no one can give me an answer to this, how long do we measure that? Because this has been nearly a year now that we've talked about good performances, but not getting the desired results. So how long does that go on? And that leads me on nicely to rebuild. Right. So when Spurs win a game, and I'm seeing all these creators putting out Spurs magnificent youth machine, Spurs play handball to perfection, Spurs are great, the future's bright, handball is great, Tottenham can challenge for a title, Tottenham will finish top 3. Okay. Why is it when you talk about those things, the word rebuild is nowhere to be seen? Why is that? Spurs win the next 3 games. These people don't mention the word rebuild. If Spurs go and beat, and I expect them to win most of these, if Spurs go and beat Crystal Palace, sorry, what am I talking about? West Ham, followed by Crystal Palace, followed by Aston Villa, the next 3 league games. Spurs go and win those 3 games, the narrative won't be anything to do with a rebuild. The narrative will be, there you go, we've suddenly clicked, this is handball. Then we lose the one after that, and it's, but it's a rebuild. I think fans need to make up their mind. And I think, do you know the problem with this? Too many people don't want to be calm about it. And what I mean is, rather than say, do you know what? I like Postecoglou. The results aren't great. There's a lot that he needs to iron out. He's got to get better in his form and his consistency, but I like him. You don't get that. We've got one extreme to the other. It is, this guy wins wherever he goes. He told me he wins wherever he goes. His history is winning wherever he goes. Okay, cool. But then stick to that. When Spurs lose, when Spurs capitulate, when Spurs have lost as many games as they've won so far this season, when Spurs have had a very mediocre to poor 12 months, admit it. But people won't. What they do is they go the other way. They double down on it. And then what they do is they start digging at people like me because the results haven't gone how they predicted. Oh, you wanted this. Yeah, I want Spurs to lose. I mean, what are we doing here? You're happy. I bet you're happy. I'm happy at watching my team capitulate. I'm happy at watching my team not being able to beat Newcastle, not being able to beat Leicester City, not being able to beat Brighton. Yeah, I'm happy. What are we doing here? The coping mechanisms for these fans. And every time a YouTuber does a video that implies about creators like me, that we are the problem, that we are negative, what they fail to miss out is how the factual information makes us correct. Now, I don't want to be correct. I want to be sitting here in May going, and just blown my mind. How good were we? Wow, that last 3-4 months of the season, wow. Won the League Cup, won the won the League Cup, won the Europa League, finished fourth. Wow, what a season. But these people will have you believe that, oh, Savva wants to finish in the bottom three. I'm going to let you into a little secret. My opinion on Spurs has no direct correlation to the results that happen. And what do I mean by that? I can sit here and say, I think we're going to beat Brighton. Like I did, I said, I think we're going to beat Brighton 3-1. Doesn't mean we're going to beat Brighton 3-1. Doesn't mean we're going to win. Doesn't mean we're going to draw. Doesn't mean we're going to lose. It's a prediction like anybody else. Right? A prediction that I got very wrong. Again, the moment I started to go, do you know what? Okay, let's see. We're doing well. Let's see what we're made of. And Spurs let you down like they always do. But my opinion doesn't have a direct correlation on winning things. Right? It just doesn't, unfortunately. So when I see these people, they make these videos about the negative fans, the fake fans that have supported Tottenham for 40 years. The fake fans. I love it when, people go into these comment sections of these videos and they say, you're the real fans. We hate those negative fans. Don't let them get you down. Sorry, based on what? I say what I see. Not for YouTube. Not for anybody else. I say what I see. I look at Tottenham and I go, okay, what's happened under Ange Postecoglou for Tottenham Hotspur? Okay, we had a very good start to his tenure. It was the mother of all new manager bounces. Fantastic. Since then, it's been mediocre. Since then, the results, the points, the facts, the evidence tells me it's not been great. So I sit here as a fan and go, okay, people can wax lyrical all they want about Ange. Fine. Show me. I'm not the only one, by the way. There's many fans now that are actually saying, okay, stop talking and start walking. Stop telling us how great Ange is. And stop telling us how great Ange is. And start showing us. I don't want to hear from TalkSport how good Ange is. I don't want to hear from people, YouTubers that aren't Spurs fans that make videos about scary Spurs. I don't want to hear that. I want to see it. And unfortunately now, people that use factual evidence and data are now negative. If Spurs win the next 10 games, I have to turn around and go, superb. Absolutely superb. Can't knock it. Look at the teams we've beaten in that 10-game run. Brilliant. We've won every game in the Cup, every game in the league. Brilliant. Because the factual evidence will show that. But unfortunately, the factual evidence isn't showing that. So again, do I think Spurs are terrible? No. Do I think Spurs are this brilliant team that dominate everyone? No. Because domination means that. To dominate doesn't mean you then lose the game, right? To dominate doesn't mean, oh, you have a lot of possession, but then we've lost. But then we've forgotten how to defend. If evidence shows me Spurs are doing well, my opinion pivots and it changes to, fair enough. We've sorted that out. He's sorted this out. He's done this. But so far, I haven't seen enough that makes me go, yeah, really like this manager. And I know that upsets people, and I don't know why. Like, if you love Ange, I ain't got a problem. You can love Ange. You know what I mean? If you love a manager or a player and I don't rate them, it's okay. No, I don't understand the big issue. I don't need anybody watching this video to have the same opinion as me. I put my videos out onto YouTube for people to hopefully enjoy some content. And yeah, I know the sort of fans that will watch me, and I know the sort of football fans that won't watch me. I'm comfortable with that. I know that certain people will come here because they think I'm level-headed and they don't see histrionics from me. They don't see, oh my God, Spurs have scored, I've fallen out my seat and I've done a ridiculous dance so that I can get on a compilation video. I think they've seen that I don't make videos going, Spurs are scary. We are amazing. Ange Ball. We are great. Ange will win the league. All right, cool. I don't make videos like that because I don't believe it. If you are someone that believes in that and you want to make that video, cool. But you know what? At what point do any of us get held accountable for our opinions? Let me give you an example. Last year, Spurs, right? I was spot on about Tottenham finishing 5th. And all season I was called negative, deluded, not a real fan, because I wouldn't jump on this absolute hyperbolic nonsense that we were in a title race. But just remember, all those YouTube channels that jumped on that nonsense train, they're the positive ones. They're the real ones. The person that didn't and then was proved correct is negative. Now, that's fine. Then I got other things wrong. I thought Chelsea would finish top 4. At the beginning of last season, I predicted Chelsea to finish top 4. I was wrong. You see, you get some right and you get some wrong, held accountable for those opinions. But so many of these people now are not held accountable for their opinions. They're allowed to say what they want, but because what they say is nice, because what that comes out their mouth is nice, it doesn't matter if it's actually a load of bollocks. It doesn't matter because it's nice. So if I make a video saying Spurs are going to finish 7th, this is where we're going to finish this season, I have no doubt I'll be called negative, you're an idiot, you don't know Ange, and Ange, fine. Then if Spurs finish 7th, no one turns around and acknowledges it. But if there's YouTube creators, and there are, talking about finishing 3rd on 81 points, fine. But you said it, own it, own it. When they don't, then you have to turn around and say, well, why didn't we? Maybe, did you get a bit overzealous? The same way, if Spurs don't finish 7th this season and finish 5th, 4th, whatever, I turn around and go, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. I underestimated. I got it wrong. Tottenham proved me wrong. Hands up. Why doesn't that work both ways? Why can't that work both ways? I just don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Fans want it both ways. Fans want it both ways. I'll repeat that. They want to say really nice things. And at the end of their videos, they say things like, well, if you want to support a channel that never turns on their team, and if you want to support a channel where they really do stick by their club through thick and thin, oh, F off. What are you talking about? I've supported Spurs for so long. I remember when we were nearly relegated. A prediction or an opinion doesn't mean you don't support your club. Just because it's a different opinion to you. Whoever's listening can take this how they want, right? If you turn around and say Spurs are amazing when they've lost and capitulated to Brighton, that doesn't make you a better fan than me. That makes you in denial. right? That's denial. If we want to be a grown-up football fan base where we have proper football discussions, then let's address every elephant in the room. We'll address when we win. We'll address when we lose. We'll address when our defence is crap. We'll address when our forwards are brilliant, our forwards are poor, when we win Europa games, when we lose them. We'll address it all. And much how do I address all of that, right? Win, I'll address it. Lose, address it. Praise players, berate players. But this notion now, and I'm seeing so many of these people are starting up YouTube channels and they think that the only way you can grow is to say nice things. And I get it, right? It's nice to say nice things. But you know what? After 40 years of pain and hurt of supporting Tottenham, I haven't got just nice things to say about Spurs anymore. After a year of evidence that shows me that we're not in great form, that all is not as good as some of these fans make out, I haven't just got nice things to say. I've got some uncomfortable truths to say about Tottenham. And unfortunately, we've got this new wave of fans. And again, it's a lot of the new Ange fans that you don't know Ange. Sure, I might not know Ange, but then you don't know Tottenham Hotspur. Because what these fans do is the moment Ange loses a game or loses a couple of games, it's, yeah, but he wasn't backed. But 2 games ago, Ange was magnificent and it was Ange ball and he's got his own players. I feel like we need to come to a middle ground here. It can't constantly be one way or the other. And for me, people in the chat right now might be disagreeing with me. I've been consistent. I don't know how much more consistent I can be. For example, I think Tottenham will beat West Ham, right? When Spurs beat West Ham, touch wood, Spurs beat West Ham, fingers crossed, fans will jump on and go, you're in the mud. But for what? Why is this done game to game? I think we should beat West Ham. I think we should get a point at least to Palace. For me, the next 2 league games, minimum of 4 points. Probably 6. We should be beating Palace. We should be beating West Ham. These are the games where I don't really look at it and think this changes anything. These are the games where I think Ange should be winning. And normally Ange does win. The bottom half teams, again, let's have a look at the league table. Let's have a look at this league table. Why do I think Tottenham should be beating West Ham and Crystal Palace? Well, it's right there. It's right there. Crystal Palace are 18th. Crystal Palace, as far as I'm aware, have not... Look, there you go. Crystal Palace have not won a game all season. We should be beating Crystal Palace away. West Ham, they're not bad. They're not great. A bottom half team. They've won 1 in 5. They're coming to Water Lane. Damn right we should be beating West Ham. But you watch. If we beat West Ham and beat Palace, we're amazing. Because we don't learn. We did it when we beat Qarabağ, Coventry, Ferencvaros, Brentford. We're doing it when we beat these teams. We're basing how great we are and how great our football is, and we dominate and possession against these teams. That's fine. But if we're going to be brilliant, if we're amazing, like so many say, the people that won't own that they've said it, by the way, they won't own it. They'll say it. They'll make videos about it. If we are as amazing as those people say, fine. Stop just being a flat track bully. Start beating better teams. Start beating the teams in that top 6 or 7. Start doing it regularly. Not every game, but start doing it regularly. The top 6 at the moment, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Villa, Brighton. Let's start beating them. Because so far, if you look at that top 7, so far already 3 of them have beaten us. 3 of that 7, we've only played 3 of the 7, by the way. 3 of that top 7 have already beaten us. We haven't played the other 4. I'm sure we will, and we'll see. But I just think we need again, I'll keep talking about this. Can we meet in the middle? I'm getting a little bit sick of these videos that have little pops at people like me all the time. They make these videos about negative YouTubers, and then all their chat start piling in and talking about me, and that's fine, but they don't own it. They know what they've done. They don't own it. And these are the people Like, I'll call it out. Tottenham Logic TV last night. I'll call it out. Alan, he's an absolute... Alan, this guy is crazy, right? He comes on my show. I've got nothing against him as a human being, by the way. And Alan, here's an open message to you. You are welcome to come on my debate show tonight at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. tonight, debate show. Come on and debate. You came on in the summer. You told me I was wrong. You told me we're going to finish third on 81 points. Now you flip-flop to it's a rebuild. And we're going to talk about rebuild in a minute. So people like Alan, you're welcome to come on my show. So you see the same way that a Deji does. All power to Deji. This is what I love about him. Do Deji and I agree on opinions? No. We can actually have a football chat where we do. Deji don't make videos about me. Deji's not making little pops, little digs. Then I see someone like Alan, Tottenham Logic TV, who's scurrying back now in his seat. Oh my God, he's scurrying back in his seat. Because Tottenham are brilliant, he told me in the summer. We're going to finish third on 81 points. Now it's rebuild. 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 Hang on, you weren't saying that in the summer. And again, I've got nothing against Alan. He's a really nice guy. Apart from letting people say that they want to put me in Stellan Hospital, but we'll talk about that another time. It changes, doesn't it? We're amazing. We're going to finish third. Why can't we be in a title race? Oh, these fans are so impatient. It's a rebuild. So is it me? Am I the impatient one? Here we go. Am I the impatient one? When I've said 7th, am I the impatient one? Am I the one that's sitting there going, I don't think we're that great. So no, I'm not going to predict these crazy scorelines. But these people predict third. Delusions of grandeur. We're going to finish third. Why can't we finish above Arsenal or Liverpool? Then when that doesn't start to go to plan, it's a rebuild. It's a rebuild. So I'll call any of them. I don't care if it's We Are Tottenham TV. I don't care if it's Last Word on Spurs. I don't care if it's Tottenham Logic TV. I don't care if it's any of these channels. Yeah? I'll happily debate anyone. I'll happily have a chat. I've got nothing personally against any of these people. Let's make this very clear. And in my chat, I won't condone any abuse, any bad things being said about other YouTubers. I'm not like Alan. I won't allow that in my chat. So if I see it, I will block it. But these people won't ever have that proper debate. They won't have it. Why? Because facts don't care about feelings. Feelings don't win debates. Feelings aren't the truth. Facts are the truth. And these people can't seem to come on. And again, look at 6 p.m. tonight, slightly earlier this week than last week. 6 p.m. tonight, Debate Savva. How many times can I open up the floor? This is for anyone on X, anyone on Instagram, anyone on Facebook, anyone on YouTube, right? And this is for people who want to disagree, that want to have a debate. Come on. Let's see someone come on and tell me why it's a rebuild. Let's break it down together. But you know what? They can't, because you know why? Because it's not a rebuild. Do you know why it's not a rebuild? Because we're not rebuilding from anything. What are we rebuilding from? Oh, a rebuild takes time. A rebuild from what? What are we rebuilding from, people? I love this word, rebuild, 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 rebuild. Rebuild suggests that we once built something that was successful and we're rebuilding to that. We didn't build anything that was successful. So what are we rebuilding? Now, the other reason it's not a rebuild. If we are in a rebuild and the only senior player we sign in a whole summer transfer window is Dominic Solanke, and the rest of the 11 is remaining the same, what part of that is a rebuild? What are we I don't get this. What are we rebuilding? These words, project, process, rebuild, what do they mean? Because when I ask these people, we had it before, Gary came on, Alan, Tottenham Logic came on, Ben came on, Spurs fan the other week. When I ask the questions, cool, talk me, give me dates. Give me timelines. Projects have timelines. Give me a timeline. When's this going to be done? What does that mean? Give me an example. No one can actually give defined reasons. What they do is they skirt around it and go, I just feel. Sure, you might feel that way, but what's the actual evidence saying? So I'm getting a little bit fed up. There are some people that come on YouTube like me. I want to talk about football, but I want to be honest. I don't want clickbait titles. I don't want pictures of me going on the thumbnail. I don't want these fake narratives. I don't want to talk about mud. It's pathetic. I want to talk about the real evidence. I want to talk about the real things. All right? Other YouTube channels, they can do what they want. The same channels that were telling me last year, Savva, you're deluded. You're going to be wrong at the end of this season. You don't understand, Ange. We're in a title race. So let's have this, right? So Spurs have gone from we're in a title race, all these people told me last year, to now it's a rebuild. So what happened? £350 million or £360 million later, it's a rebuild. Now, this man's had a lot of money. For me, I think he's squandered a lot of that money. Now, we can have the debate about him versus Levy versus Lang, but this man's had a lot of money, more than any other Spurs manager's ever had. A lot of money. There's no reason now that this guy can't go and do better. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to say on this video. I hear a lot, right? When these people try and pick holes in someone like myself, they just start making up things that I've said that I never have. So they say things like, oh, well, if you don't like Ange, which manager comes in right now to win now? It's like, well, hang on. I never said a manager can come in and win right now. That wasn't my point. My point of not really rating Ange is not about winning. It's about consistency. It's about this. Constantly. I see people want to compare Ange to people like Unai Emery, who hasn't done this in his Aston Villa career. He hasn't. In 24 months, he's done that. He actually did that, took them from 17th, and they've done that the whole way through his 2-year tenure. They've been the fourth most successful team based on points, which is actually what we play for, over 2 years. So when people go, oh, but Unai Emery has consistency. Ange is that. Ange is, it's crazy. And you know why? Because of erratic tactics, erratic substitutions, erratic press conferences. All of these things add up. Oh, but we play nice football now. Sometimes. I didn't think we played nice football in the second half against Leicester when they came back to get a point. I didn't think we played nice football against. I didn't think we did anything against Arsenal. We had a lot of the ball. I don't remember us creating anything. That wasn't nice football. I don't remember nice football when Brighton came from 2-0 down to beat us 3-2. So again, some good football, yes. Some bad football, yes. And until we start to iron out this consistency issue, nothing's going to change. So my message in this video, first of all, my channel, unlike others, is always open. It's always open. I can't leave the door open to say, I'll debate with anyone. Me and Sean Butler used to debate all the time, disagree. Me and Henry did. Yeah? We always debated. We had differences of opinions, but we'd always debate. So I ask all these people to come on. All these people that make a nice video about me. They make videos about people like me, about people like Stel. But then when you ask them, no point debating. Why? So let's stop making this personal against people. Let's stop it. I'll invite anybody on. As I said, there are YouTubers who I can't stand their football opinion. The biggest example, me and Deji, as I've said before. But Deji's a quality bloke. Just because I don't rate his football opinion at all doesn't mean it's personal. Doesn't mean I don't like him as a human being. The same with many of these other content creators. Some I know more than others. And here's how I'll finish this. Guys, don't be fooled as well. A lot of these people that say these lovely things on their YouTube channel, when you speak to them one-on-one, their opinions are very, very different. And this is the difference between playing the YouTube game for likes, views, subs, clicks, and just playing the YouTube game because I want to talk about football. I don't earn enough money from this for this to be a full-time gig, nor do I want that. I made that mistake of thinking I did before. But if it's popularity, I wouldn't have my opinion, would I? If I was in this for popularity, behind the scenes, I'd be telling the truth. And in front of the camera, I'd do what a lot of these people do. I'd live in absolute denial. I speak to these YouTubers off air, and the number of them that don't actually believe what they say when they go on air is truly worrying. But people in the comments going, yeah, you're a real fan. I really... Guys, girls, look, I'll say this. I want every Spurs YouTuber to be able to say whatever they want. I'm not trying to make anyone say anything. I think we need differences of opinions. Me and Jacob disagree. That's fine. Me and Jacob are friends, right? I like that his channel is different to mine. I think it's really healthy and important, right? Me and Deji, different. Me and Sean, different. I don't want all the Spurs channels to say the same thing. But this notion that if somebody has said something different means they're not a Spurs fan, means that they're a negative Spurs fan and angry, it's just crazy. And to the person that posted yesterday into Tottenham Logic TV and said he'd love to meet with Stella and I face to face, and he hopes it's near a hospital emergency department. Those are the sort of things where, isn't it funny, where the so-called positive fans say nasty shit like that. And they're called proper fans, real fans, talking about putting people in hospital. Now, I don't take it as a threat. This guy's he can do nothing to me. But people like that, I'm talking about you, Peter Cahagas, can sit there and say these things and then bounces around to everyone else's chat saying nice things and then slagging off people like me and Stel. And those YouTube creators just don't do anything about it. That's where I have an issue with it. That's why I called out Tottenham Logic TV in this. Can't talk about mental health. Can't be having shows about mental health. Then when someone talks about violence against somebody else, laughing. So the last thing I'll say is anyone in my chat, everyone is entitled to an opinion, right? The abuse doesn't need to happen. The histrionics don't need to happen. The finger pointing doesn't need to happen, right? Why can't we just turn around and acknowledge Spurs are okay? We're all right. We are where we are for a reason. We beat the teams we do for a reason. We don't beat the teams we don't for a reason. Why does everything need to be so dramatic one way or the other? For me, as I've said, this manager's going to be here to the end of the season. It is what it is. For me, he's done nothing to show me he's a good manager. I think we're getting run-of-the-mill results with bursts of good football. And unfortunately, those bursts of good football are papering over the mountain of poor results that have been accumulated over the last 12 months. So look, Spurs fans, we are all Spurs fans. There's no negative Spurs fans. There's no positive Spurs fans. We're just Spurs fans that have difference of opinions. But can we please make up our minds on our opinions? If over time you pivot to a new opinion, that's not a problem. But it can't be week in, week out. And that's the aim of this video. It can't be, oh my God, we've beaten Man United. We're going to win a league title. We're amazing. It's brilliant. Oh, we lose to Brighton. It's a rebuild. These things happen. Can we have some balance? Own it. Own it. If you think we're going to win a title or be in a title race, own that shit you said. Own it. Anyway, take care, everyone. I'll be back tonight, as I said, back tonight, 6 p.m, Debate Savva. This is normally where a lot of people are very vocal in comment sections. I mean, one of the people, we all know it was someone last week, gave it that all week. I'm going to come on and debate you. I'm going to come on and debate you. When it got to the show, said, are you coming on? Well, what do you want to talk about? No, you want to debate me. Tell me. So again, please, I'll ask this, please. If you're coming on, please don't be somebody who comes on if you agree with me. It's not the point of the show. A lot of people that have watched me recently have said that have watched me for years and that agree with me. They try coming on to that show. That's not what it is. Debate Savva is about debate. I want proper football debate. Bring your facts, bring your evidence. This is open to those Spurs YouTubers the Spurs Xers, the Instagrammers, the ones that talk a great game behind a screen with no name and no picture, here is your chance. Camera must be on, live, 6 p.m. tonight. Take care, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs.